Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Talk Sara English. I'm Sarah, and I'm really happy you decided to spend some time with us today.
And I'm Mike. Whether you are relaxing at home, driving, walking, or taking a short break, thank you for listening.
We hope you feel comfortable because today we are going to have another natural English conversation that helps you improve step by step.
Our topic today is something everyone experiences every week, and it gives us many chances to practice useful English.
That's right. Today we are talking about your weekend and how to speak about it naturally in English.
This is a topic that appears in many real conversations. Friends ask about it, coworkers ask about it, teachers ask about it, and even strangers sometimes ask simple questions about weekends.
We often hear questions like, "How was your weekend?" or "What did you do over the weekend?"
And sometimes those questions sound easy, but it can be difficult to answer if you are learning English.
Maybe you know the vocabulary, but you don't know how to keep the conversation going.
That is exactly what we want to practice together today.
Our English will be clear, natural, and comfortable for B1 to B2 learners.
You don't have to understand every single word. Just listen carefully and enjoy the conversation.
Your listening becomes stronger every time you hear English used in a natural way.
Before we begin, we'd like you to think about one simple question while you listen.
Here it is. What is your perfect weekend?
Maybe it is exciting and full of activities.
Maybe it is quiet, peaceful, and slow.
There is no right answer because everyone enjoys weekends differently.
Some people love staying busy from morning until night.
Other people just want to sleep a little longer, drink coffee, and relax.
Some people spend weekends with family.
Others enjoy being alone for a while and recharging their energy.
Whatever your style is, weekends are an important part of our lives.
They give us stories to tell, memories to make, and many chances to practice English conversation.
Mike, let me ask you something.
Sure, go ahead.
When someone asks, "How was your weekend?" do you usually give a short answer or a long answer?
It depends on who asks me.
That's true. We don't always answer everyone in the same way.
If I'm talking to someone I don't know very well, I might simply say, "It was good, thank you."
Nice, simple, and polite.
But if I'm talking to a close friend, I usually tell more details.
Like what?
Maybe I'll say, "I went hiking on Saturday, watched a movie on Saturday night, and spent Sunday with my family."
That sounds much more natural than only saying, "It was good."
Yes, because conversations become more interesting when we share small details.
I completely agree. Sarah, what about you? I usually enjoy calm weekends.
Really? I thought you always planned something exciting.
Sometimes I do, but most weekends I like simple activities.
What kind of activities?
I enjoy reading, cooking something new, taking a long walk, and cleaning my apartment.
Cleaning?
Yes, I know that doesn't sound very exciting.
Well, some people actually enjoy cleaning.
I think it helps me feel relaxed because everything looks fresh afterward.
That makes sense.
And I usually prepare for the new week on Sunday evening.
That is a great habit.
It helps Monday morning feel much less stressful.
Many people wait until Monday morning to organize everything.
And then they wonder why they feel so busy.
Exactly. A little preparation can save a lot of stress later.
Let's teach one useful expression.
Good idea.
We often say, "I had a relaxing weekend."
Relaxing means peaceful and comfortable.
For example, "I had a relaxing weekend because I stayed home and read 2 books."
Another useful expression is, "I had a busy weekend."
Busy means you had many things to do.
For example, "I had a busy weekend because I visited my grandparents, went shopping, cleaned the house, and attended my friend's birthday."
Notice that both answers begin the same way. I had.
Then we add an adjective.
Relaxing.
Busy,
Wonderful.
quiet,
Productive.
fun.
Or unforgettable.
Then we explain why.
That makes your answer complete. Here's another question, Mike.
I'm ready.
Do you think weekends always need to be productive?
That's an interesting question.
Many people feel guilty if they don't accomplish something.
Yes, they think every weekend should improve their life in some big way.
But is that necessary?
I don't think so.
Why not?
Because resting is also productive in a different way.
I like that idea.
If you never rest, you eventually become tired and lose motivation.
So relaxing is not wasting time.
Exactly.
Sometimes your brain needs quiet moments.
Sometimes your body needs extra sleep.
Sometimes your heart simply needs time with people you love.
Those things are valuable too.
Of course, some weekends are naturally busier than others.
Maybe you're moving to a new apartment.
Maybe you're preparing for an important exam.
Maybe friends or relatives come to visit.
Every weekend tells a different story.
And that's why this topic is so useful for English learners.
You never have exactly the same answer every week.
Your vocabulary grows naturally because your experiences change.
Instead of memorizing long lists of words, you connect English to your real life.
That makes learning much easier.
Let's imagine someone asks you, "What did you do this weekend?"
You don't need a perfect answer.
You can simply tell the truth. Maybe you watched a football match.
Maybe you visited your parents.
Maybe you stayed home because it rained all weekend.
Maybe you tried cooking something new.
Maybe you finally finished a book you started months ago.
Every experience becomes useful English practice.
And that's the wonderful thing about everyday conversations.
They help you speak about your own life instead of someone else's.
That's exactly what makes English feel real. All right, now that we have talked about different kinds of weekends, let's continue by exploring how to make these conversations longer and more natural.
Yes, because many English learners answer weekend questions with only one short sentence.
For example, someone asks, "How was your weekend?" And the answer is simply, "It was good."
That answer is correct, but it usually ends the conversation very quickly.
If you want to sound more natural, you can add 1 or 2 extra details.
Those details help the other person understand your experience and give them something to talk about.
Let me give an example.
Go ahead.
Instead of saying, "It was good," you could say, "It was really relaxing because I stayed home, watched a movie, and cooked dinner with my sister."
Now I have many questions I could ask you.
Exactly.
I could ask, what movie did you watch?
Or what did you cook together?
That is how real conversations grow naturally.
Imagine it's Monday morning and we work together.
Okay?
I walk into the office and ask, "Hi, Mike, how was your weekend?"
I might answer, it was great. The weather was beautiful, so I spent most of Saturday outside.
Then I could ask, "Where did you go?"
I went to a nearby park, walked for almost 2 hours, and had lunch at a small cafe.
That sounds like a relaxing day.
It really was.
Did you go alone?
No, one of my friends joined me, and we spent a long time talking about work, travel, and future plans.
See how the conversation keeps moving?
Yes, one answer creates another question.
That's how many everyday English conversations work.
They grow one small detail at a time.
Let's talk about useful time expressions.
Great idea.
We often say, "on Saturday morning,"
On Saturday afternoon.
"on Saturday evening."
And on Sunday night.
These expressions help organize your story clearly.
Instead of listing random activities, you tell them in order.
For example, on Saturday morning, I cleaned my apartment.
In the afternoon, I met some friends.
In the evening, we watched a comedy movie.
On Sunday, I stayed home and prepared for the week.
Notice how easy that is to follow.
Your listener can imagine your whole weekend.
Another useful word is finally.
Yes, we use finally when something happens after waiting for some time.
For example, I finally cleaned my garage.
Or I finally visited my grandparents after several weeks.
Another common word is instead.
For example, I planned to go hiking, but it rained, so I stayed home instead.
Weather often changes weekend plans.
That's true almost everywhere.
Have you ever planned an outdoor activity that didn't happen because of the weather?
Many times.
What usually happens?
I usually change my plans without worrying too much.
What do you do instead?
I might read a novel, organize my room, watch a documentary, or try a new recipe.
So even when plans change, the weekend can still be enjoyable.
Absolutely.
I think flexibility is an important skill.
I agree.
Sometimes the best memories come from unexpected changes.
That's happened to me before.
Tell us about one example.
Last year, I planned to visit the mountains, but heavy rain made the roads unsafe.
So you stayed home?
At first, I was disappointed.
That's understandable.
But then I invited 2 friends over, and we spent the afternoon playing board games and cooking together.
That sounds like a wonderful change of plans.
It became one of my favorite weekends of the year.
Sometimes life surprises us in a good way.
Exactly.
Let's introduce another useful expression.
I caught up with.
This expression means spending time talking with someone after not seeing them for a while.
For example, I caught up with an old friend over coffee.
Or, I caught up with my cousin during the weekend.
Here's another expression people use often.
I took it easy.
That means you relaxed and didn't do anything stressful.
For example, I took it easy on Sunday because I felt tired after a busy week.
Native speakers use this expression quite often.
Mike, do you usually plan your weekends in advance?
Sometimes I do, but not always.
Which weekends do you enjoy more?
Honestly, I like having 1 or 2 simple plans and leaving the rest of the time open.
Why is that?
Because I don't like feeling that every hour is already scheduled.
I understand.
If something interesting happens, I can change my plans easily.
That gives you more freedom.
Exactly.
I'm a little different.
Really?
Yes, I enjoy making a small list before the weekend starts.
A long list?
No, only 3 or 4 things.
That sounds reasonable.
Maybe 1 activity for fun, 1 task at home, 1 visit with family or friends, and 1 quiet moment for myself.
I like that balance.
It helps me enjoy the weekend without feeling overwhelmed. That's a useful word, too.
Overwhelmed means feeling that everything is too much.
Many people feel overwhelmed when they try to do too many things in only 2 days.
Then Monday arrives, and they feel even tired than before.
That's definitely not the goal of a weekend.
Another useful conversation tip is asking follow-up questions.
Instead of only talking about yourself.
Yes, if someone says, I went camping, don't just say, nice.
Ask, where did you go?
Who went with you?
How was the weather?
Would you like to go again?
These simple questions make conversations much friendlier.
They also help you practice listening.
Good conversations are never only about speaking.
Listening carefully is just as important.
Sometimes even more important.
Before we continue, we'd like you to think about your own last weekend again.
Imagine someone asks you 3 simple questions. What did you do? Who did you spend time with? And what was your favorite moment?
Try answering those 3 questions in English.
Don't worry if your sentences aren't perfect.
The goal is communication, not perfection.
Every conversation helps you become more confident.
And every weekend gives you another opportunity to practice naturally.
Now, we've talked about describing your weekend and keeping a conversation going, but let's finish with something just as important. How can you make talking about your weekend sound more natural and more personal?
That's a great question, because vocabulary is only one part of a good conversation.
The other part is sharing your thoughts and feelings.
Exactly. 2 people can do the same activity, but describe it in completely different ways.
For example, 2 friends might both go to the beach.
One person says, it was peaceful, and I loved listening to the waves.
The other person says, it was crowded, hot, and difficult to find a place to sit.
Both answers are correct, because they describe personal experiences.
That's why it's useful to learn words that express opinions.
Words like relaxing,
Refreshing,
interesting,
busy,
stressful,
memorable,
unexpected,
enjoyable.
rewarding.
These words help people understand not only what happened, but also how you felt.
Let's practice with a simple example.
Instead of saying, I visited my grandparents, you could say, I visited my grandparents and it was really comforting because we hadn't seen each other for several weeks.
Or you could say, I visited my grandparents and we laughed while looking at old family photos.
Those small details make your English sound much more natural.
They also make your stories easier to remember.
Mike, what do you think makes a weekend memorable?
Honestly, I don't think expensive activities are the most memorable ones.
Really?
Yes, I usually remember simple moments much more clearly.
Like what?
A long conversation with a good friend, a beautiful sunset, a delicious meal, or even a quiet walk after the rain.
I like that answer.
Those moments don't always cost money, but they stay with us for a long time.
I feel the same way.
Sometimes we think exciting weekends are the only good weekends,
But a peaceful weekend can be exactly what we need.
especially after a busy week.
Let's review some useful expressions from today's episode.
The first one is, I had a relaxing weekend.
You can also say, I had a productive weekend.
Productive means you finished important tasks.
Another expression is, I caught up with a friend.
That means you spent time talking after not seeing each other for a while.
We also learned, I took it easy.
That means you relaxed and didn't do anything stressful.
We used the word flexible.
Flexible means you can change your plans without becoming upset.
We also talked about feeling overwhelmed.
That's when you feel there are too many things to do.
Another useful word is memorable.
Something memorable is easy to remember because it was special or meaningful.
And finally, we used the word refreshing.
Refreshing describes something that gives you new energy and helps you feel better.
Now, we'd like to give you a small speaking challenge.
Don't worry, it's simple.
Imagine you're talking to an English-speaking friend.
They ask you, how was your weekend?
Try answering with at least 4 sentences.
First, describe your weekend.
Then, explain one activity.
Next, describe how you felt.
Finally, mention something you hope to do next weekend.
This is excellent practice because it helps you connect the past, the present, and the future in one conversation.
If you repeat this exercise every week, you'll notice your speaking becomes smoother.
You'll also discover that you use the same useful expressions more naturally.
That's how confidence grows.
One conversation at a time.
One weekend at a time.
One small improvement after another.
Before we finish, we'd like you to remember something important.
You don't need an exciting life to have interesting conversations.
Everyday experiences are enough.
A simple breakfast with your family.
Reading a good book.
Watching your favorite movie.
Going for a walk.
Trying a new cafe.
Cleaning your room while listening to music.
Or simply enjoying a quiet afternoon at home.
These ordinary moments become great English practice because they belong to your real life.
And when English connects with your real life, it becomes much easier to remember.
We'd love to hear about your weekend.
Write a comment using today's vocabulary.
You can introduce yourself by writing, I'm, your name, from, your country.
Then tell us about your last weekend or your perfect weekend.
Don't worry about making mistakes.
Every sentence you write helps you improve.
We always enjoy reading your comments from around the world.
They remind us that we're all learning together, one conversation at a time.
Thank you so much for spending part of your day with us.
We hope this episode gives you more confidence when talking about your weekend in English.
Keep listening, keep speaking, and keep believing in your progress.
Every small conversation brings you one step closer to speaking English naturally.
Take care, have a wonderful week ahead, and we'll see you in the next episode of Talk Sara English.
Goodbye, everyone. and happy English learning!